Close your eyes, and one of two things is about to happen. For some, falling asleep means stepping into a vivid world bursting with color and impossible geometry. For others, it's just black, absolute nothingness. As a species, we share the exact same neuroanatomy. We all cycle through the same stages of sleep. Yet this shared biological state produces drastically different conscious outputs across the human population. This raises a question. When someone says they never dream, are they actually missing a piece of cognitive machinery, or is an unseen mechanism quietly masking the process? Bridging this gap in experience is the first step toward understanding why we evolved to dream at all. This divide and recall doesn't measure your imagination. It reveals how your brain manages the transition between reality and the subconscious. To understand this divide, we have to look at what happens the moment you drift off. While your physical body powers down, your brain does the exact opposite. It lights up. Every single human brain generates dreams. It happens during REM, or rapid eye movement sleep. During REM, your brain clocks in for its first major task, information consolidation. It takes the massive, chaotic influx of data you encounter during the day and systematically files it away into long-term memory. Then it moves on to the heavy lifting. The sleeping brain actively processes recent emotional distress and runs complex threat simulation scenarios to prepare your nervous system for waking dangers. Together, these functions form a biological night shift required to keep our waking psychology intact. Dreaming functions as a mandatory biological maintenance cycle that everyone undergoes, regardless of whether they ever see the results. But that brings us right back to the contradiction. If that vivid, colorful night shift is universal, why is it entirely missing for so many people? The answer lies in a distinct neurological mechanism called dream recall. Generating a dream is handled by a completely different system than the act of remembering one. Let's look at the brain's primary information processing hub, the temporoparietal junction, or TPJ. In people who regularly remember their dreams, this TPJ region runs highly active. It makes the sleeper sensitive to external sounds or environmental changes, even while they are deeply asleep. This sensitivity triggers what neuroscientists call micro-awakenings throughout the night. These awakenings are so brief you won't even notice them, but they act as a physical save function, locking the dream data from your short-term buffer straight into your waking memory. Conversely, non-dreamers simply sleep much deeper. Their TPJ activity is lower, so those micro-awakenings never happen. Without that tiny physical interruption to hit save, the dream data is instantly deleted the moment they wake up for the day. The people staring at a blank screen are doing the exact same complex biological work all night long. Their brains simply lack the waking trigger mechanism required to hand them the receipt. So the next time the alarm goes off and your partner recounts a sprawling adventure while you remember absolutely nothing, you know what's actually happening. This variance in dream recall is a mechanical quirk of the bridge between being asleep and being awake. It has zero bearing on your inner depth, your creativity, or your emotional health. The invisible, heavy lifting of the brain's night shift keeps you functioning securely. That work is happening effectively and constantly, regardless of whether it's remembered in color or completely forgotten in the dark. However, if you want to bypass the blank screen, you can. That memory save function is pliable, and you can manually train it over time. The most effective method is keeping a dedicated dream journal. By forcing yourself to write down even the tiniest fragment or feeling the second you wake up, you train your brain to prioritize that data rather than instantly discarding it. Understanding the rigid, mechanical neuroscience behind our sleep doesn't strip away the magic of dreams. It proves just how tirelessly our minds are working to protect us, long after we've closed our eyes.